Plano John Paul II is the top-ranked large private school boys team in Texas, according to the TABC. Now, that could change after a one-point loss to Prestonwood on Tuesday, but a nice bounce-back win for the Cardinals against Bishop Lynch on Friday. JP2 head coach Dan Lee joins me now. Coach, thanks so much for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me, Taylor. I really appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. We'll get right into it. A 22-7 start to the season. How exciting has that been, and what's been the key for you guys?
Well, it's very exciting. As you know, every coach will tell you this year is rewarding from the standpoint that, you know, we finally get to do things that we were not able to do last year. We get to travel, we get to play in big events, we get to have fans, and it's just more normal. Last year there were a lot of things that I think we've taken for granted over the years that were taken from us and taken from the kids especially, and it made it very difficult. So this year's been special. I tell the kids every game, just enjoy it. You know, we've had some district games where the other student sections are on us a lot, and I said, man, just enjoy it and make the most of it. We didn't get to do that last year. We didn't get harassed and hollered at and jeered at, so it's fun. We love it.
What do you feel like the biggest key to y'all's start has been, or this season so far, I should say?
Well, you know, we're a young team, but we're very talented. I have good players, and you know, that's the key to having a good team. That's what you got to start with. And you know, we're working together, and we've figured some stuff out, and really we've started to really emphasize things on the defensive end, because we know that some nights the shot just doesn't fall, and you've got to emphasize both ends of the court, and you've got to win tough games one way or another, whether it's hitting a big basket or getting a key stop. And so I think we've improved in those areas. We played a really, really tough schedule against some teams from out of state and in-state, and I think it's going to really prepare us for the stretch run.
And I know you guys were state champs back in 2020. We're back in the state tournament last year. How has that experience benefited y'all as you've gone through the season? Well,
honestly, we've got a totally new team. You know, I don't have a single starter back from last year, let alone 2 years ago. So none of these kids were on the team, and we made our state championship run. It does benefit us in that, hey, our expectations are to be there at the end, and that's our goal. And, you know, that doesn't change from year to year at John Paul. That's always our goal. And, you know, so the mindset is there that was established 2 years ago with that very special team that won it all. And the mindset hasn't changed and is not going to change.
You talk about having a younger team. One of those players, Liam McNeely, obviously a very special talent. What has he meant to this team?
Well, Liam is, you know, he's a nationally ranked player, and as is R.J. Jones, and Gabe Warren's a Division I player, Eli Obaseki, arguably one of the most improved players in the state this year. They're all very special, and Liam's a very cerebral, high IQ kid who makes good decisions, and you know, his height and his passing is really special, and I think that's something that sets him apart from a lot of kids, is that, you know, he can find that open man and he can throw over traps and things like that. And he's had some great experience as several of the other kids. And, you know, we only start one senior, and Liam's only a sophomore, so he's definitely learning as he goes. But it's nice to be very talented and learning as you go. That's for sure.
So now here's the million-dollar question. What does this team need to do to return to the state tournament and win another championship?
You know, consistency. We need consistency at both ends of the court for 4 quarters. You know, there are times where we're a really special team and everything's clicking, and my job's really easy when that happens. You know, I turn into a cheerleader. But there are times when that's not the case. You know, other teams practice too. They're very good. Our district is tough. We have 5 outstanding coaches in our district that all game plan against you and worked really hard to have their teams prepared. And so every game's a battle. Every night's a battle in our district. And you know, we've got to be consistent, and we've got to be able to overcome adversity when things aren't going right, and win those close, tough games that we've been able to do for the most part over the last 2 years.
All right, that's Dan Lee, the head coach at John Paul II. Coach, thank you so much for coming on, and best of luck in the rest of y'all's season.
Thanks for having me, Taylor. I really appreciate it.
The boys from JP2 are ranked #1 among the large private schools in the state, also visiting Bishop Lynch Friday night. Right off the tip, first possession, Cardinal junior R.J. Jones drains the 3. Jones, a 4-star recruit for the class of 2023. Another JP2 junior rising up the rankings, Gabe Warren, The Cardinals high flyer rises up for the slam. The visiting Cardinals fans going bonkers. JP up 5-0 early. But the Friars settle in. Braxton Teal, the senior, gets Bishop Lynch on the board, points to the bench. They're fired up, and moments later, Grayson Bell, he drains a three and lets the home crowd know. Friar faithful going crazy as they take the lead. But John Paul II is loaded with talent. Liam McNeely, a 6'7" sophomore, gets the bucket in traffic. Cardinals back on top. And here's another dunk for good measure. Eli Obaseki, two-handed flush. John Paul II gets the win at Bishop Lynch. 69-57, your final.